Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So, what a spoiler season it has been. I mean, another day wrapping up, another huge day of spoilers, and maybe no spoiler bigger than Cityscape Leveler, because this spoiler is literally huge. I mean, okay, the card's the same size, but yeah, it's a pretty huge card, and you'll have to check that episode out to find out why I'm saying that, but don't leave just yet, because, yeah. I don't, there are no words, just, these are my thoughts on this card. And I would like you to please help me have more positive thoughts on this card. So, blame Eddie for this card, blame Eddie for me crying, and, now, with all that said, let's jump into it. So, really quick, I do want to just apologize a little ahead of time because this episode's going to be a bit different. So, just warning you in advance about that. And you'll find out why here very shortly. So, Bladecoil Serpent is a card. Yep. And a mythic at that. A 5/4 artifact creature serpent that costs X and 6. So, this giant X spell. What's it do? Oh my goodness. When it enters the battlefield, for each blue spent to cast it, draw a card. When it enters the battlefield, for each black spent to cast it, each opponent discards a card. When it enters the battlefield, for each red spent to cast it, it gets +1/+0 and gains trample and haste until end of turn. Okay, so, I would like anyone out there, please, explain to me, because I clearly just don't understand this. Why in the world is this a mythic? Why in the world is this card good? Are you excited about this card? Any of those questions, yeah, just let me know in the comments below. Because I probably have looked at this card about 80 times and been like, okay, what in the world am I missing? I have to be missing something, right? This thing, again, oh, it's so splashy, it's so cool. That artwork is incredible, and it just doesn't live up to anywhere near what I consider to be a mythic in my mind. I mean, we've seen some bad mythics before, like Mascot Exhibition, from Strixhaven, which was not too long ago. Definitely comes to mind as why in the world is this mythic? But yeah, this I mean, I think like had potential in the design, and it's just like I don't get it. So sure, let's just walk through it. I mean, obviously there's a concept to this, right? First off, I mean, I am coming from the perspective of Commander. I will say that, and I probably should have started with that, but still, yeah, you knew that was coming. Anyways, this can only fit in Grixis plus colors decks, so limited there. Let's just say I just want to cast this for 6 and ignore that X, okay? If I use, all blue, cool, I draw 3 cards. If I use all black, I make each of my opponents discard 3 cards. If I use all red, wow, I've got an 8/4 hasty trampling serpent. Cool. Now, obviously, you can mix and match how you want to, but sure, okay, yeah, I'll use 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red. All right, I'll draw 1 card, make each opponent discard 1 card, and have a 6/4 hasty trampling creature. And obviously, yeah, it's flexible. Cool. I mean, if I've got even more mana to dump into this for whatever reason, yeah, I can, either draw some more cards or make opponents discard cards or get this slightly bigger again. I mean, yeah, that red is probably at least what it's going to be used for. Though, I guess, if it is end of game and you somehow can get it through on an opponent to take them out, sure. Again, this is just a head scratcher for me. And yeah, the more mana that you put on that X, I mean, nothing, happens with the card except, if you are putting, more blue or more black or more red into it, in variables of 2, yes, you get additional benefits in that way, but it just being an X spell, kind of not doing anything, there really aren't too many cards that kind of do this approach, and the way that it goes about it is just seemingly kind of clunky to me. But again, I mean, the reason I'm making this episode is because I would like you to please explain to me in the comments below so I can learn. I can know why this is a good card. And if someone says standard or limited or whatnot, well, you're probably right. I've got no idea how to evaluate those formats. But still, it's just kind of weird that this card, again, with the awesome art and being mythic and whatnot, just kind of really just falls pretty flat, in my opinion. But yeah, please prove me wrong in the comments below and let me know. Regardless, I mean, yes, I do have some ideas of what you could possibly do with this card. And sure, in those scenarios, yes, this card can be absolutely amazing. Wow. But in all honesty, I mean, in comparison to Cruel Ultimatum, it's just kind of weird. Just like, again, like you need very specific mana to be able to make this card work well. Cruel Ultimatum also needs very specific mana. I mean, blue, blue, black, 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 red, red. So 7 mana, one more potentially than our, Serpent Friend. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, loses 5 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, then gain 5 life. Kind of like the same mana cost in a way again. I mean, at least incredible mana fixing that you need for this to get the most out of it. Or actually, just to cast this one to get the most out of your other one. Obviously, you need the most. Anyways, this is a ton of value, an absurd amount of value. Taking an opponent down by a creature by 3 cards and having them lose 5 life. On top of you getting basically the exact opposite of that, getting a creature back from your graveyard, basically card advantage there. Drawing 3 cards, yes, card advantage. Gaining 5 life. Yeah, I mean, overall, this one definitely deserves to be a Mythic more so than Bladecoil Serpent. Even though, to my knowledge, it really never has been a Mythic. And sure, okay, I mean, Bladecoil Serpent, let's say, yeah, if you put, all black mana into it, each opponent's going to be discarding, 3 cards, so that's 9 cards discarded in total. So, yeah, I mean, you can get pretty brutal there. When it comes to, doing the same, when it comes to card draw, sure, if you put, 6 blue into it, draw 3 cards. And, yeah, if you use red, that's probably not what you want to do with it. But, yeah, obviously there's a higher end to it as well. You can put more and more mana into it. But, yeah, when you're putting, like, oh, yeah, this card's good because I can put, like, 10 mana into it, yeah, there are better things to do with 10 mana, obviously. I mean, in the one case I can see this actually being good, though. Yeah, if you've got infinite mana. I mean, Isochron Scepter, Dramatic Reversal, having, mana rocks in play, essentially. Cool, yeah, if you go infinite, sure, dump all your free mana into this card and just, win. Isochron Scepter is imprint, so when it comes to the battlefield, you can exile an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand, which is going to be Dramatic Reversal, and by paying 2, you can tap and copy the exiled card. If you do, you can cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Dramatic Reversal says untap all non-land permanents you control. So, yeah, if you've got mana rocks that essentially can tap for 3 mana in total, you have infinite mana with this because you can just keep tapping them, tapping this, untapping everything, tapping again. And yeah, if you've got a mana rock that can tap for any color, congratulations, you've got all of your colors. And with infinite mana of all colors, yeah, sure, Bladecoil Serpent can be great because, yeah, you can put as much blue mana into it as you want. Well, I mean, up until the point where you actually mill yourself out. So yeah, draw basically your entire library. You can make all your opponents discard all their hands, and then some. And you could also, yeah, make it an infinitely large serpent. I mean, you have to pick a number, obviously, but yeah, 1 trillion power, sure. It's a giant, hasty, trampling, trillion power creature. So it can take out 1 player for you. Obviously, by drawing your entire deck, you can take out the rest of the players. But again, when it comes to like, hey, I've got, infinite mana, I'd like to win, this is probably not the card that most players are going to go for. That being said, I'm not saying it's not going to happen because it probably will. I mean, there's a lot of Commander players out there, but still. So, sure, I mean, if you want a Deadeye Navigator Peregrine Drake with it, absolutely, go for it. I mean, as long as you're in Grixis colors, I guess I should have mentioned that with the previous combo as well. But yeah, Deadeye Navigator has Soul Bond, as long as it's paired with another creature. Each of those creatures has pay 1 in a blue, basically blink this creature. Peregrine Drake has enters battlefield untapped to 5 lands. Essentially, yeah, you're just paying 2 mana to blink your Peregrine Drake. You get its ETB again, which makes you untap 5 lands. So yeah, tap 3 extra mana, basically just float it or, whatever else. Then, untap your 5 lands. Do it again and again and again. Infinite mana again, as long as you've got, 3 lands, that tap for, each one of your colors again. Black, red, and blue, assuming you're in a Grixis deck, obviously with this. Then, yeah, you've got infinite mana of all those colors, and then utilize it however you want for your Serpent. And then your Serpent is, yeah, quote-unquote good, right? So, yeah, I mean, there are a wide variety of ways to go infinite, make infinite mana. It's just, I don't see most of them being like, yeah, I gotta go get that finisher, Bladecoil Serpent. I'll teach my opponents. And now I'm sure that, like a Command Fest or like, an LGS, there's definitely gonna be a player who's like just trying to do this against me just to be like, hey, Bladecoil Serpent's good. And you know what? At that point, I'll say, congratulations. You beat me with Bladecoil Serpent. Well done. I mean, I guess one other thing to consider is that, yeah, I mean, if you've got a deck that can really utilize ETBs, sure, you can take advantage of this as well, like, a Panharmonicon. If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Again, each of the ETBs, for drawing cards, for making opponents discard cards, and for whatever reason, again, making the Bladecoil Serpent slightly larger and hasty and trampoly, yeah, by doubling them up, you make it a lot more efficient. I mean, even if, again, you just say for that 6 mana, you're putting in all blue, which, again, I mean, if you are in a Grixis deck, just putting in all blue is very tough. I guess I should mention that earlier, too. Now I'm getting off track, but yeah, having exact mana that you want for whatever your, outcome that you want is going to be tough, unless you've got infinite mana. Anyways, doubling up, let's just say, again, with 6 blue, yeah, you can draw 6 cards now for 6 mana. That's great. And getting a 5/4 on top of that as well. But again, that requires a lot of mana fixing, and most of the time it's going to be somewhere in between all of these. Again, yeah, probably more so likely the 2 red, 2 black, 2 blue. Maybe you can get, 4 of one of them if you're, really good at your mana fixing, or you've got a lot of artifacts, a lot of mana rocks that can tap for any color. But still, most of the time it's going to be a mixture, and yeah, doubling it up can definitely help out, make it a lot more efficient, help you get a lot more value out of it, and to punish your opponents more, obviously. And also, I mean, I guess, swing bigger with your Serpent. Yeah. And speaking of it being a Serpent, well, you really can take advantage when you go up against your Sea Monster Tribal Friends deck. That's right, you'll show them with this card, because Whelming Wave does not work against it, right? Whelming Wave says return all creatures to owner's hands except for Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents. So their sea monsters don't bounce, but you know what? You've got a Serpent too. You've got Bladecoil Serpent, and it's staying in play. So then you can get demolished by all the other sea monsters that are gonna come after you because you probably don't have any other Serpents. And yeah, if one of your buddies has a Slyn Voda deck, you really can show them, because that's all Slyn Voda does. It's an 8/8 with kicker for 1 and a blue. When it enters the battlefield, you're going to bounce all, except actually Merfolk are in there too. Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents as well. So yeah, Bladecoil is sticking around. And even their Serpent of Yawning Depths is going to be absolutely no match for your Serpent. Except for the fact that this is a 6/6 and yours is a 5/4. But it's not going to be a match for it, because it says Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents you control can't be blocked except by Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents. So you can totally block and lose with your Bladecoil Serpent. And I really don't know why I'm harping on this card so much, but it's probably because I drove myself crazy and looked at it like 80 times. But yeah, I guess if I had to say, what commanders might want to consider it, well, I'd say Yidris, okay? Let's just go with that one. We're going to go with this one, Yidris, okay? So Yidris players out there, definitely, maybe, sure, consider it. Anyways, 5/4 Ogre Wizard Trample deals counter damage to a player. As you cast spells from your hand this turn, they gain Cascade. So yeah, with being an X spell, essentially, it is more flexible. I mean, obviously, you need to cast it for at least 6. But if you can put, more mana into it, you can get even more benefits out of it by potentially hitting something larger off the top of your library. After, of course, yeah, you hit with Yidris so you can Cascade. You know what I mean? Or how about a newer commander with a bad end of the spoiler, a 5/5 with Trample that says, during your turn, spells you cast from your hand with mana value X or less have Cascade, or X the total amount of life your opponents have lost this turn. Yeah, it can be quite easy to get that amount to be pretty high, so that can cover a lot of values, including, whatever you might want to put into that X. So yeah, you can Cascade for a good amount of value, again, with this kind of a card. And yeah, one of the things, I mean, I kind of mentioned at the beginning, but yeah, it's kind of really difficult to find a spot for this card, because, again, it is very specific to Grixis. I mean, obviously you can utilize it in 4 or 5 color, but the further away you get away from Grixis, right, I mean, you can't really utilize any other colors of mana beneficially with it to actually know, if you're using green or white or colorless for it, you're not getting, extra cards. You're not making opponents discard any more cards. You're not getting this any larger. So yeah, you are really kind of confined to, like, hey, Grixis specifically, and maybe certain 5-color commanders very specifically that can utilize it too. But again, yeah, you're just utilizing whatever mana you have, and you probably don't have the exact combination of mana that you might want when you're casting it. So you might want to draw 3 cards with it or more, but you don't have all that much blue, so you kind of have to just make do with what you have. I mean, if I had to say a 5-color commander that might want to consider it, maybe Ramos, but probably not. Whenever you cast a spell, you get a counter on Ramos for each of that spell's colors. So again, I mean, it is a Grixis card in color identity, but its spell's colors are no colors, so you get no counters on Ramos for casting this. That being said, Ramos has removed 5 counters from it. Add double work to your mana pool, activate only once each turn. So sure, I mean, if you want to utilize your blue, black, red from Ramos to cast it, I mean, you also, I guess, could utilize the green and white, but that wouldn't do anything else. It would literally do the exact same thing. Sure, go for it. I mean, draw your 1 card, give it +1/+0, trample and haste until end of turn, and make each opponent discard a single card for your 5/4 Serpent. Oh, I'm really gonna regret making fun of this card when someone just, again, plays against me with it and just takes me out with it or something. Oh, goodness. But yeah, I mean, Bladecoil Serpent, it's a card, and it's a mythic, for whatever reason. So yeah, someone in the comments below, please let me know, why in the world is this card mythic? Am I missing something? Is this card really good and I just don't quite grasp it? Even though I've looked at it so many times. Maybe it's because I've looked at it too many times. Maybe I just kind of like, I can't see what's good about it. So please let me know in the comments below. Let me know why this is a great card, why you're going to beat me with this card. I mean, yeah, if you generate infinite mana, good for you. You did it. But there's other cards that can win better and fit in more decks and, you know, help you in other ways. And this is, yeah, I mean, I'm going to regret saying all this. Anyways, I should just stop talking at this point. Anyways, make sure you're on the lookout for other spoilers that I can pretty much guarantee you are going to make a lot more sense than this one. And with that, the show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on this episode are, and as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support.